Hey, happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
I love
I,
Valentine's, even though
well,
everyone says it's just a Hallmark, way to make money and so commercial, but I like Valentine's Day.
I do too. I really like Valentine's Day. And I just want to say I love you.
I love you too, Alex.
It's a good day to tell people that, or week, since this is Valentine's week, really.
Yeah. So, what do you do for Valentine's Day for your people?
Well, I had a really cute tradition when my kids were little that I had a party when their first Valentine's Day. I did it for all four of them. And it
Oh,
was cute because then you get to dress up babies and in like heart outfits. And
right.
now I'm sure we have like three basketball games. I haven't looked at the schedule, but
Uh-huh.
it gets eaten up, right, in the
Hmm.
busy of life. But my kids do expect gifts, which is interesting. Like, Mom, what are you getting me for Valentine's? Well, Hallmark has progressed to Target, which has given you the expectation that you will now be receiving stuff. Uh, but I'm guilty of indulging that. So they
Hmm.
get a little bit of treats, chocolate, and then I don't know, Claire's gift card or something.
Yeah. No, I do too. I like it. And I mean, if we can't do Valentine's Day, I do try and just do a Valentine's dinner at some
Mhm.
point, and I make it cute with whatever and get a special drink, which usually is like cherry 7 Up with whipped cream on top. I mean, super fancy, but yeah, it's fun.
Mhm. Yeah, I do too. I try to make it a big thing. And, when you have girls who are older, it starts to be weird at school when people are getting stuff and right? That's just
So at
weird.
least they get
It
something
takes
at
me back.
home.
It takes me back to that insecurity.
Oh, dang, nobody delivered a rose to my
Yeah,
English classroom in sixth
right.
period.
Right, right.
Mhm.
And just, yeah. So trying to deflect that and say, oh, but we love you. So
Yeah.
anyway, Valentine's Day, it's good. What I remember from last year is that the dog got into the chocolate and ate like pounds and pounds of dark chocolate and then was a total spaz the next morning. And so I had to take her to the vet and they made her throw up.
I
So
remember that.
that is what I remember from last year.
Oh,
We
that's
are
so
not going to do a
funny.
repeat this year.
Yeah, no, hide the chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, so this is our annual favorite things episode because we do love Valentine's Day. And we thought, well, it's just a fun time to say what we love, what we're loving right now. And it's just fun things.
Yeah.
It's just, from podcasts to food to beauty products to clothing to home. We're just going to cover the things we're loving this year.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's super fun. I love this episode because it just gives me a chance to share all the things I've discovered this year or rediscovered.
Mm-hmm. Or going back to, or are looking forward to.
Right.
Yeah. And we always say, this is frivolous stuff. The things we love are really people. And
Right.
so just to be clear, we're not just superficial talking about mascara all the time, but it is our chance once a year to, since we often ask our guests what they can't live without and what makes their life work, these are some things that help make our lives work well.
Yes. Okay. Well, let's start with books because
Yeah.
I know, Alex, you are the classic bookworm. So, what books are you reading now and
Mhm.
maybe are on the docket to be read?
To be read. Well, the books I have on my list to share are all books that I am looking forward to reading or have just recently read and aren't out yet. So the first is Kate Merrick's new book. It releases on April 2nd, and I just want everyone to go and pre-order it on Amazon right now. It is titled Here and Now, and you and I both got to read an advance copy of it.
I think it's just here now. So, let's cut that out and have you say that
Okay,
again.
you're right. It releases on April 2nd and it is titled Here Now. And you and I both had a chance to read an advance copy. And it just is a beautiful, beautiful book. And it's about presence, and her writing is great. And I love it. And I want
And
people to
Kate
read it.
is just it's just so amazing. One of the most
Mhm.
unique people I've ever met in my life, and I love her so much. She came to our retreat last year, and she's just an incredible individual. But the book is about getting off your digital media and into people's real lives. And we're going to have her on later in the year, actually, to talk about that.
Yeah. So I'm excited for other people to get the chance to read that. And then I just received a book in the mail right this week called Love Where You Live. And it's by Shauna Pilgrim. And it is not really a book I know much about, but I want to read it because it covers some of the same stuff that I think my book that's coming out in April covers. And the subtitle is How to Live Scent in the Place You Call Home.
So good.
So I just looked at her bio, and she also has 4 kids. She lives in San Francisco, which to me sounds like a dream. And so I want to read what she says about loving where you live and being with people where you live. So I'm looking forward to digging into that book. I have the copy in my hand. And then a book that's not out yet is Placemaker by Christie Purifoy. And I think Christie is a beautiful writer, and she's really good at making her place. Again, there's kind of a theme here, right? About being present in where you are. So those are 3 books that I am looking forward to being out in the world.
And it'll be fun to hear how they approach that differently. Each one approaches it a little differently.
Right. But I think it shows that we're feeling this collectively, a need to be present where we are and to connect with people in real life. So that's what I'm reading. What about you? What are you reading or looking forward to reading?
I've read a lot of good books this year, but I'm going to just mention a few of them. And I'm a big Audible reader. So some I read physically and many I read through Audible. What are you doing?
I'm trying not to sneeze and I can't find the mute button.
You can just sneeze. Well,
what happens? And then I'm like trying to minimize, okay. Anyway,
so funny.
Now I can't see the list because I'm trying to move around the screens. Okay.
Okay. So I will start with A Million Miles in 1,000 Years. This is not a new book. It's by Donald Miller. It's been out for a long time. But I wanted to go back to it because it really reminds you of what a good life story looks like. And I just really love that book. And that book was really the spark of Story Brand, which is his international organization that works with individuals to corporate businesses. And it's just about how to live a good story. So he's a great storyteller, a great writer. That's one you can easily listen to on Audible because it's so conversational. It's fantastic. Highly recommend it.
I agree. I just kept it. I went through all my books to give away because, we're purging. That was one I was not going to give away.
Isn't it so good?
Because it's so good. Okay, keep going.
Lisa TerKeurst's new book, It's Not Supposed to Be This Way. It's amazing. It's coming out of a deeply personal and very, very difficult season of her life. And I would say for anyone who is in any kind of challenging situation, or you have been in the past, or you're even walking through a challenging situation with someone, it's amazing. And the spiritual truths are so deep in this book, and you can tell that she has been transformed in a very profound way through her recent journey, and it shows in this book. It is by far my favorite book that she's written. And hard, it's hard, but we all have hard, and if we're not in hard now, we'll probably be in hard soon, or you may be in hard now, and she gives you hope that you will overcome and you won't be in that forever. So no matter which side of the coin you're on right now, it's helpful. And then The Teenage Brain by Francis Jensen, who is he's an MD, he's a neuroscientist and a neurologist, or I don't know. I may have gotten that wrong. But anyway, he's in the brain world, and he talks about the teenage brain, and it really helps us understand our teenagers and why they're doing what they're doing. And it's fast. You know how I love neuroscience, so it's fascinating to me. And if you're parenting and you're trying to understand your teenager, this really sheds a lot of important light on what's happening developmentally to them. I also picked up a book because this woman has been recommended to me so much as an author, and it's Barbara Brown Taylor's Learning to Walk in the Dark. She really focuses on, you always hear to be afraid of the dark, but she actually in this book opens up what would it look like for us to learn while we're walking in the dark, or learn from the dark. And her writing is absolutely exquisite. I am just listening to even how she crafts words. I mean, as someone who writes, that is so interesting to me. That is one of the things that draws me to a book, is how the author crafts words. And hers, I've rarely read someone who crafts words like she does. And then finally, just a little adventure in my life, because I love adventurous things. I am reading on Audible Shackleton's Incredible Voyage by Alfred Lansing. And it's just about Shackleton's journey. And Eric, my husband, absolutely loves that story just because.
I don't know who Shackleton is. Who's Shackleton?
What? You do not know who Shackleton is?
So I'm just saying, if I don't, maybe someone else doesn't either. So tell us who Shackleton is.
Okay. So Shackleton was an explorer, and he put an ad out in the turn of the century paper that basically said, for anyone who wants to go on this voyage with me. Hold on. Let me pause this, because I actually. Okay. So Ernest Shackleton, he lived the late 1800s through 1922, and he was a polar explorer who led 3 British expeditions to the Antarctic. And he was kind of one of the primary figures of that exploration journey. There's all sorts of them that travel to different parts. Well, he was the one exploring the Antarctic, and he wrote the ad in the paper he put was this: men wanted for hazardous journey, small wages, bitter cold, long months of complete darkness, constant danger, safe return doubtful, honor and recognition in case of success.
Yeah, sign me up. That's like the least likely thing ever for me to say yes to. You just gave me all the reasons not to. Now, did he discover, it's starting to sound familiar. Did he discover one of the poles? North Pole, South Pole.
Yeah. And I can't remember exactly. I mean, I'm just starting it, but so I'll learn much more. But yeah, he had a race to the South Pole, right, trying to figure out what was there. And he was just one of the great explorers of that time. And I think it fascinates me what makes someone able to do that and endure that kind of hardship, and what makes those volunteers, they were going to get paid small wages, but what makes them join that journey? What is it in the human spirit that causes that kind of exploration? I just don't quite get it, but it's fascinating to me. So there's that book.
Wow. Okay. Well, I can't wait to find out what happens. Okay. Moving on from books. Do we want to just totally switch gears and talk about what we're eating?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about that. What are you eating these days?
Well, we've been in a really busy season, really busy. And so I've been pulling out kind of my go-tos. So it's more kind of revisiting old recipes that are my definitely often recipes. So one is killer flank steak. It is the easiest marinade in the world, and I have not found another marinade that tops it. I have tried lots of flank steak recipes, and the only one I come back to time and time again is this one. It is soy sauce, olive oil, lemon juice, Italian seasoning, garlic. That's it. And it is absolutely amazing. It just has the right combination of everything that makes a good marinade. And it's so, you can just throw it together in a flash, and everyone loves it. And then I boil it on the stove and use it as a sauce. So killer flank steak.
Okay.
And then one that I always make is Cafe Rio's pulled pork salad. It's the copycat recipe. And you don't have Cafe Rio yet in Colorado, do you?
No. Mm-mm. Well, not that I know of.
Mhm.
Perhaps we do. Not that I know of is the proper
Uh-huh.
answer.
Well, Cafe Rio is amazing. It's won all sorts of awards because it's so fresh and it's not fast food. It's like in between fast food and a sit down restaurant. It's like right in between there. And it's just phenomenal Mexican food. I mean, absolutely so good. So I make their copycat recipes all the time and they're phenomenal. But that's one of them is the pulled pork salad. It's like sweet pork. There is
What-
Coke in the recipe. Warning, Coke in the recipe, but it's part of the marinade of the meat.
So Coca-Cola, we're talking. When
Yeah, which I substitute out sometimes because I'm doing no sugar. So, but
when you say copycat recipe, it's not a recipe that they put out. It's a recipe somebody else has come up with and put on Pinterest.
yeah, or someone who worked there ended up sharing the recipe and it gets out. So whenever you see a copycat on a recipe, because there's a lot for Olive Garden, there's a lot, for all different restaurants, it's usually somehow the recipe has been
Leaked.
discovered and leaked and shared.
Okay.
And
This is sounding like the covert recipe.
okay, and then like I said, I've been doing, low carb, no sugar. So I've been making lately cauliflower clam chowder because we're in ski season and clam chowder after a good day of skiing is just my fave. So I make it with cauliflower instead of potatoes.
Oh, nice. Is it yummy?
So good. So
Mhm.
good because when you're low carb, you can still do high fat. So you can still do the little bit of cream in there and all that stuff. So it still makes it kind of rich and creamy, but without the carb in it. And then to round it all off, the soft ginger snaps. Have I ever made those for you?
I feel like you have. I can taste them in my mouth right now.
They're absolutely incredible. And
Especially after the chowder. Yeah.
they're not just for Christmas. They really are for all winter long. I'm not sure they're a summer, spring cookie, but they're a good fall, winter cookie.
You know what? If someone gave me ginger snaps in August, I would take them. I wouldn't say it's too hot for a ginger snap. Okay, so speaking of summer and desserts, I am bringing back a recipe that we made so much this summer, the ice cream sandwich cake. Ice cream
Okay.
sandwich cake.
And is that where you layer them and then you put like sauce over it?
That is
And
exactly what it is.
right. Okay.
And
Tell us more about it.
so it's layers of ice cream sandwiches that you unwrap from the wrappers. So we made it so often that my 9-year-old this summer was making it on her own from memory.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
it's not complicated. Let's just say it's not complicated, but it's great because everybody thinks it's so rich and delicious because it's like ice cream sandwich, Cool Whip, hot fudge,
Right.
and then you just layer it and you freeze it.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good and
Yes.
it's
It's a
so
crowd
easy.
pleaser.
It is a crowd pleaser. It probably wouldn't be in Bon Appetit
Mm-hmm.
because I mean you can get everything at Walmart. So it not high end, but definitely high satisfaction.
And it's a great one to make if you're having a crowd of kids over of any age. It's a great one.
Yes, those grown-up kids like it too. But really, I mean, that's what we made it for this summer was parties where there were lots of kids and people like licked the platter. It's so good.
Mhm.
Okay, and then my Instant Pot, because we just talked about the Instant Pot so much. I have a
Mhm.
new beef stew recipe that I like because I love stew, and you have to be so planful with stew because it has to cook, right, for hours and hours.
Right.
Not if you use the Instant Pot. No, no, no. So I have that. And then I have my go-to is coconut rice in the Instant Pot. We make that a lot because it just is a little bit different than rice.
Yes. But you don't put like chicken or anything in there. You just make the rice in there.
Well, I just make the rice separate.
Okay.
That's the recipe I use. Maybe I need a different recipe, but the one that will be in the show notes is just for coconut rice. And then we have rice with all kinds of things. But
I have a question about the
Mhm.
Instant Pot. Do you keep it on your counter or do you like put it away and get it back out?
I put it away. Well, okay, let's be honest. My goal is to put it away. It does
Mhm.
not have a permanent place on the counter. Sometimes it will stay on there for a few days, but it's because I have not put it away yet.
Okay. It's
And
always my question with the Instapot because I'm like, how much am I going to use it this week? It really does make a difference.
Yeah. No, I try to put it away, but then often, right, then I'll use it again. And then I'm washing the pot and the inner pot and all that. So
yeah.
I don't.
Okay. Well, what about just food items you're liking right now that aren't what you make necessarily?
Oh, yeah. So my family really became sushi obsessed this year. We've always liked sushi, but again, my 9-year-old is a little bit particular and she loves sushi. My 7-year-old does not so much. So the compromise is when we go to sushi, we get miso soup because she likes that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kept thinking, I should be able to make this at home. Like we
Mm-hmm.
have made sushi at home. That's complicated. But this soup.
Oh, I love making sushi at home.
Yeah.
I think it's easy.
Oh, well, it just takes so many ingredients.
Yeah. I did buy the rollers. That does help. I will say that.
Yeah. So you just have to have all the ingredients. Derek actually makes the sushi.
Mm-hmm.
But the miso soup, I found some boxed miso at the market by our house. And it's good. I mean, it's not as good as the restaurant, but it's a lot less expensive because for the same price, I get a big box.
So what's the brand?
Imagine is the brand that they carry at Sprouts, which is where we shop.
Okay.
Here in Colorado.
Okay. Anything else?
And then my favorite kids meal, if you're out on the go, is the Chipotle kids meals.
Oh, why?
Because it just feels like they really are getting a substantial meal because they get whatever they're getting, their entree plus rice and beans and a bag of chips and a drink.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels substantial. And maybe I have ordered a kids meal and eaten it myself, maybe.
Right.
I'll just put it out there. It's probably against the rules, so maybe not. But
12 and under, please.
yes, it's substantial. I always have multiple kids with me. So if they don't eat that meal, I'm going to eat it, right? So anyway, I just think if you're on the go, it's a good one. Now, as far as I know, Chipotle doesn't have any drive-thrus because you have to tell them what, you have to go through the line. So that's the only bother as if you're trying to feed multiple kids.
Yeah.
Drive-thru is always nice, but Chipotle.
Okay.
What about you?
Well, I would say my number one, numero uno, probably one of the top things. So this is an important moment. One of the top things of favorite things 2019 is Trader Joe's frozen gnocchi made with, guess.
Oh, well, you told me.
Cauliflower. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm always on low carb everything, as we're finding out. I'm always working on, my food plan. And that means I can't have things like gnocchi that I absolutely love with all my heart. I mean, I seriously love it. And it is pronounced gnocchi because that's the Italian way. Mm-hmm. So if you go and order, how do people say it?
Gnocchi.
Gnocchi or gnocchi.
There's a lot of fun ways to say it.
There are. Mm-hmm. But when I discovered they had cauliflower at Trader Joe's gnocchi, I just about died. I just thought this is the best thing ever. And I served it to my family without telling them. And they did not know.
Mm-hmm. I love gnocchi. I feel like there's never enough of it.
Right.
I love it so much. So people know it's typically made with potatoes. It's a potato pasta. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's
so
like
good. Heavy starch, heavy carb. Yeah. Well, now it's cauliflower, and you can't even tell the difference if you put a really good sauce on it. So there you go.
Okay, yum.
And then one of my other favorite things this year, okay, this goes with it, so we'll go with this one. The cauliflower crust you can order on Amazon, pizza crust.
Okay, can you have too much cauliflower? Is that possible in your diet?
Not on a low carb diet. So for those of you who are doing low carb or keto or whatever, this is your show right now. I mean, we are just zeroing in.
Unless you go with the ice cream sandwich cake. Then we just offer the range here.
We're hitting everything. Well, so I didn't even know before this year that you could order cauliflower pizza crust on Amazon. And I cheered with delight because making them is the biggest nightmare on the planet. And I was making them before, and you have to use cheesecloth and squeeze out the cauliflower. It's a total nightmare. So this changed my life. I love it because I love pizza.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go. And then the next one that I love, because you know I'm a tea drinker, is a company called Tea Pig. They have a tea called licorice and peppermint that my friend gave me as a gift this year, and I absolutely love it. Love it. So
That does sound good.
yeah, it is.
Oh,
I would never have thought of putting
mhm.
licorice and peppermint together, and it is delicious.
Yum. Okay, well, we're now going to take a lunch break. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so that's it for food. Yummy yummies. I do think the cauliflower pizza crust, people are going to look into that because a lot of people do like pizza that don't want too many carbs.
Right.
Okay, so moving on, beauty products. What beauty products are on your things you love list this year?
Well, I put this one on stories one day because I just couldn't help it. I really was very skeptical about this new curling iron, but it actually does work. It is amazing. It's called Volume, and it's supposed to give you lift in your hair that you haven't had since the 80s. No, I'm just kidding. It's better than the 80s because it's not ratted. But you actually like put it in the roots of your hair, and it puts air pockets in the roots, and it gives you this beautiful lift.
Wow.
Right. So
Well,
there you
that
go.
sounds lovely. Well, your hair looks nice. I can see you. Other people can't see you right now, but
And then, okay, this is a new product that I got. You know how I feel about glitter and sparkle. And so when I was in Sephora getting something for someone else, and I saw this product and I just stared at it, and the lady comes up to me and she said, "Do you have to have it?" And I said, "I think I have to have it." It's a sparkle dust, and it's by Fenty. But yeah, Fenty Beauty, and it's called How Many Carats, and you just use a tiny bit and you put it like on the edge of your eye and then a little on your cheeks, and it's just the most subtle, beautiful sparkle. So, but I said, "Don't you have a smaller one?" She said, "No. This one will probably last you 15 years." So
oh,
you're going to see me sparkling for the next 15 years.
you're like, well, I don't know. It depends on how much sparkle you use, how quickly you go through the extra large sparkle dust.
But you can also put it on your body. I just don't happen to do that. But you can put it, if you're going out to a fun night. And then my last item, oh no, I've got two more. And then the next item is the Benefit Brow Contour Pro. So I haven't always been a big eyebrow liner person, but then I actually went and got my eyebrows professionally done because I traditionally have done them myself. And I'm like, wow, the liner really does matter. It really does make a difference. So I've been using that, and it's fantastic. And then the last thing is the Urban Decay Cherry Eyeshadow Palette. It's like really soft pinks, perfect for Valentine's Day, actually. But it is so beautiful. It's like really soft pinks, and it's just lovely. It's lovely. Their eyeshadows are amazing.
Okay. Did you get that at Sephora too?
Yeah, all at Sephora.
I will say I'm just giving everyone permission to go get that for themselves for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And if
okay.
you happen to get the sparkle dust too, okay.
Right.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, so what about you?
Well, I feel like every year I talk about nail polish on our things I love, and it's like the evolution of Alex's nails. But I don't go get them done because I'm cheap and because it's time consuming, right?
Yeah.
So I always want to figure out how can I do the best job of making them look okay at home. And also because I have a lot of nail polish users in my house.
Yes.
So when I buy a bottle, it gets used. So I've decided that I'm really going to commit to the top coat now because it makes a big difference. So
really
Essie
does.
is my brand, and I just got their quick drying top coat because, again, who's got time to wait for your nails to dry? So I think it makes a big difference. So for all of you home beauty people who are doing your nails at home, the top coat. Let's make a commitment to top coat together.
Well, and do you know I've made a commitment to non-toxic nail polish remover this year?
No, I didn't.
Yep. Yep. And your nails always look nice, by the way. So your nail polish really works well. But I will say I have committed to this non-toxic nail polish remover, and I feel really good about it.
Does that mean all other nail polish remover is toxic?
Yes.
How do we know? It doesn't say toxic. So if it doesn't say anything, it must be.
Yes. Okay. I'm not remembering right now off the top of my head what the brand is, but I'll put it in the show notes. How about that?
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay, what else?
Well, so here's my other grocery store beauty product actually I have a few of them. L'Oreal Voluminous Original Mascara. And
Mm-hmm.
I just really like it. But then recently I saw it in Real Simple.
Yeah.
So there you go. I was so proud of myself. I already had learned on my own. I felt like such the
like
discoverer.
the secret hack beauty insider.
Mm-hmm. And again, I'm just cheap. So I was just, at the grocery store buying toilet paper and getting mascara. Okay. And then my hairdresser's assistant, when I was asking her about dry shampoo, when I was there this year, she said, you don't need to buy expensive dry shampoo. You can just get Batiste, which is like the cheap stuff that they sell at Walmart and at Target.
And TJ Maxx. That's where I get mine. And I use the same one.
Mm-hmm. So I really haven't used other dry shampoo to compare.
I have.
Mm-hmm. Would you say that Batiste works just as well?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's my tip for that.
Okay.
And finally, I like Burt's Bees Tinted Lip Balm because it's chapstick with tint.
Oh, yeah.
And I use Red Dahlia is the color that I use.
It's just a nice neutral.
Mm-hmm. They come in packs, usually different colors, but it just is nice if you don't want to do a full lipstick, but you still want a little bit of color. Mm-hmm. Then it's like chapstick with color.
Okay.
Okay.
I always wear lipstick. I love lipstick. All right. Well, what about home products that you've discovered this year?
Okay. Well, I'm going to talk about splurges. And my 2 splurges that I have tried this year is grocery delivery. Mm-hmm. I have not done it very often, but I was considering it today. A lot of places, your first delivery is free, but now I don't know. Do they have grocery delivery where you are?
No, but we have grocery pickup.
Yes. So that's another option that some stores do is you can order online and you don't have to spend all that time walking through the store, and you schedule for when you're going to go pick it up and it's all bagged up. And here, because we live in the city, we can also get it delivered. And Amazon, a lot of people I know use Amazon. I have used my own Kroger chain that's here in Denver. I've used their delivery system, which is,
I didn't even know you could do your grocery shopping like completely through Amazon. That's crazy.
Yeah. But I mean, like with anything, they don't have all the stuff that they have in a grocery store. So it's good for the basics.
Okay.
Right? I have a friend who is a foster mom, and she said that's one of her treats to herself when they're about to get new kids is she does grocery delivery. Mm-hmm. Because she's scrambling around to get the house ready. Okay, so there's that. And then I bought myself a new vacuum cleaner, and I love that I have a new vacuum cleaner. Yes, because it works. I'm so sick of these like vacuum cleaners that, again, because I'm cheap, I buy things that don't really work that well, or they break quickly. So this was an investment, and it's a Ricard, and you can't get it at just
Sears
regular stores. Yeah. You kind of have to go to a specialty store to get it. But the ladies who sold it to me, she told me all about the company and the story, and it's in Missouri, and they started because farmers didn't have anything to do in the wintertime. I mean, like even the story itself, I was like, sold, totally. Sold.
Farmers doing great.
Yeah.
So do you have to go to a vacuum store or order it online?
I think so. No, I'm not a Ricard expert, but I bought it at a specialty vacuum store. Again, because I live in a city, we have things like that.
So you do love it though. It's work. I mean, it's like buying a new mattress. You don't always want to buy a new vacuum. You don't want to buy a new mattress, but oh, what a difference. It's a tool we use all the time.
Right. It makes such a difference. And yeah, I feel like I'm 44. It's okay for me to have a vacuum that works.
Right. And I will say the Dyson has not lived up to its reputation, in my opinion. In my opinion, some of you out there may absolutely love it, but in my opinion, it breaks down too much. And maybe that's just because our family, we use vacuums heavily. So.
Okay. What about you? What are you using at home?
Okay. It's just, I mean, we didn't plan this, but I've got a vacuum on mine, but it is the Roomba. And I'm obsessed. If cauliflower gnocchi is number 1, the Roomba is number 2. I mean, it is fabulous. I waited years to get this thing. I've been watching them for a long time. And finally on Amazon Prime Day, they had them really discounted. And so I pulled it. My sister-in-law and I both pulled the trigger and got one. And she named hers Charlotte. And ours is called Stella. And we talk about Charlotte and Stella a lot. And I run it every morning. So I kind of move everything out of the way, all the ottomans and everything. And we have hard flooring, and I just run it every morning. And if you have an animal, it is the best thing ever because it picks up all the hair, but also all the little things that come with kids, especially.
Yeah, all those little things. Now, did you have to get over this Saturday Night Live skit about the Roomba?
Okay, I haven't seen it. I have to watch it.
Okay, I'm just going to tell people watch at your own risk because it's slightly inappropriate.
Right.
But I cannot hear the word Roomba without thinking about Woomba. You know, it's an anyway. So, but it's from like 10 years ago, the skit. You know, back when I could stay up late enough to watch.
Right.
Okay, sorry.
And then the second thing I'm really liking that I'm just now getting into, so I'm just starting to really experiment, you know, with my cauliflower and such, is the dry fryer made by Crux. So they're kind of, I mean, they're up and coming for sure. They are fryers, like it's like, looks like an egg. It's like an electric appliance. And you dry fry, which means it tastes like fried food, but it's not. It's dry fried. It's without doing the fatty oil.
Okay, I feel like, is this for real? Like it's what everybody wants, right? Everybody wants fried food without it being fried.
Right. And so this is the answer. But I will tell you by next year, because I'm just getting into it. My parents got me one for Christmas. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, I've been wanting these. Like I was such a dork. I was like so excited about the dry fryer. Well, I'm just starting to use it. So check back next year and I'll tell you how much it works over this year. But I am using it now and really liking it so far.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So you use it inside, like the
Instapot. Oh yeah. It's like any other appliance in your house.
Right.
Kitchen appliance. Okay. Well, let's move to social media. So let's talk Instagram first.
Okay.
Who are you following that you weren't following before that you discovered this year?
Well, I probably was following Shannon a year ago, but I've really loved everything she's posted in this last year that has come out with her book, The Ministry of Ordinary Places. Shannon Martin, and we are going to have her on the podcast very, very, very soon. So you will get to hear her. But in the meantime, go follow her on Instagram.
Yeah,
she just talks about her ordinary life and how amazing it is because this life is a gift. So she inspires me. Mm-hmm. And that's what I want, is I want things that inspire me in my Instagram feed, right? So another one that I just kind of stumbled on, but apparently millions of people follow them. So it's not really that unique, but it was new to me, is Because of Them We Can is the name of the Instagram handle. And it is all about Black excellence, past, present, and future. And so they feature people from Black history. It's Black History Month, you know, this month, but also people today that I want to know about, and a lot about kids too, and about how to be supportive of African-American kids in your community. And I mean, it just is very, very inspiring. And so everything that they post is inspiring and makes me so proud of humanity. So it's just a really wonderful thing in my feed. I love it. And then because I'm really trying to get organized, my friend Morgan organized with me. She does organizing tips on Instagram.
Is it Morganize Me?
Morganize Me. Sorry, did I say with?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Morganize Me. Our friend Morgan Tyree, she does home organizing tips on Instagram. So it's just a great way to absorb that kind of information without even thinking about it. You know, like you don't have to go looking for organizing tips. There they are. They're in your feed.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about you? What are you looking at?
I would say my number one discovery this year is the Design Twins. And, you know, I love home design. so they have all that, but in the message of their pictures is really inspiring faith-based content. So in the feed, the picture is beautiful and inspiring for design, home design, but then in the words are just so deep and meaningful and amazing, faith-based. So I love it. I'm really inspired by that feed. And then another woman I discovered this year through our friend Charlena from Grit and Virtue is Jasmine Starr. And she is, again, a lot of people follow her, but for anyone who has a business of any kind, she's a great one to follow. And a more local person, she's in Montana, so just a couple states away, is May and June Vintage Market. And she has a store in Montana, but then just has a really fun feed. And I like all the vintagey things that she's got on there. And the last one is Joanna Gott, and she actually works for Magnolia. And so she's one of the masterminds behind Magnolia, and kind of Chip and Joanna is one of their right-hand people. And she just has a great eye. And so I love her feed, but I also love how she lives and what she's doing in life. So she's adopting right now, and just the way she portrays that is really fun. So she's the last one.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What about apps? Have you discovered some new apps this year that are helping you in your life?
Well, I have tried Workflowy, and it's not totally flowy-ing for me. And I don't know if it's because of me. I'm not the most organized, but it's trying to help me get organized. Or I don't know. But I'm trying to make that one work for me, okay. Workflowy. Because you can break down tasks into smaller tasks, and then you can check them off, which makes you feel successful and motivates you to keep going, right?
Can you do it from the computer? Because that's one thing I like, is when it's integrated between computer and phone.
Yes, you can. You can. And then this year, I used Scrivener to write my book that's coming out in April.
Is that the first time you've used it? Oh,
yeah. So for any of you who are writing long pieces of any type, people use it for fiction writing and for nonfiction writing, but for book length, typically. But you could use it really for anything that you want to break down into sections. It is intended to help you. And it's a little bit complicated. Like, people take courses on how to use it. So I probably didn't maximize its potential.
Right.
But up until then, I'd been writing chapters in Word.
Right.
And, it just gets a little hard to move things around. So part of what it helps you with is moving things around and reorganizing. So I tried it, and I think I'll use it again.
You would?
Yeah, I would.
People say they either love it or hate it.
I didn't hate it, but I don't know of a better system. Yeah. So I'm open. So if people know of a better system that's similar, let me know.
Yeah.
But those were my two.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say for me, apps wise, and we're just talking new ones, so ones we haven't mentioned before, but I started using All Trails this year, the All Trails app. Do you know about that one?
No.
So you can go anywhere and you pull up All Trails, and then it shows you where the hiking trails or walking trails are in that area. So like if I'm traveling for the kids' sports, I can, while they're warming up or there's a little break where the team is doing something, I can go on All Trails and look and see where the nearest trails are and then go jump on one. And I love that because I find that I see places through physical activity. Like if I go somewhere, I want to get out in it, and that's how I explore it. And so I love that app because you can do that anywhere, and you can just do it right around your own home if you don't know where the hiking trails are around your own home. So it's a good one.
Good. Does it tell you if dogs can be off leash and like all those bikes can go on it? And
and it tells you what level it is, which is the most important one probably for families who, need like an easy one or a moderate one, so you can see what would be best for the family too, which is great. And get everybody outside. Hashtag
That's a
get
good one.
outside. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I love Visco like the rest of the world, but I will say that my favorite Visco filter, and this is a recommendation from our friend Mia of Graze Little Closet, is the V6 filter. V6. V is in Victor, number 6. It just has it has a great look to it. And Mia is just fantastic. Am I spilling her secret? Should I not be saying that?
I don't know. Ooh. Well, we'll ask her later. And we'll edit it out
Okay.
if we need to. Okay, can we swing back and do Twitter?
Oh, yes. I will say, though, and I will say, in talking about Mia, we have to mention her. I know we've mentioned her before, but she is an Instagram favorite for me, hands down. And that is her account, Graze Little Closet, is absolutely the most creative, magical little place ever. And her kids are the cutest you've ever seen. But she's so incredibly creative. She's an amazing photographer.
Yeah, and you should go scroll back to her Christmas series.
Uh-huh.
Because I mean, people have come up to me and talked to me about it. Did you see Mia's Christmas series?
Right.
Because she dressed her little baby up as the elf on the shelf and got into all kinds of mischief. I mean, it was just...
Yeah, she got put on the local news here for it because it was so amazing.
Yeah.
It's Mia St. Clair. That is, I don't think we said her full name, but it's Mia St. Clair. But her account is called Graze Little Closet.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let's jump back to Twitter for a second, and we're just gonna do you because you know me. I really don't. I don't love Twitter like you love Twitter.
Oh my gosh, you guys, Twitter is my favorite. It is. It's my favorite. So no surprise, Eugene Cho. I went back to see if I had mentioned him last year, and what I mentioned his book last year. But he was a pastor. He just stepped down from his job as pastor. No scandal, just being responsible because he's involved in so many other things. In Seattle, he was a pastor in Seattle. And I probably retweet him and Beth Moore the most. Those two, like I could just, my whole Twitter feed could be retweets of those two. So Beth Moore, of course, I did mention her last year as one of my favorite Twitter follows. And please, people, if you're on Twitter, follow her. Just follow her. So Eugene Cho, I have him in my Christmas book. I quote him in this book that's coming up. I just love everything he says. And Russel Moore is another person. He works for the ERLC. And so he's a little bit of politics, public policy meets Christian faith, like how the two intertwine. And I just feel like he is so level-headed. He is a level-headed Christian man who understands how government works and what we're called to do. So,
I've got a podcast I'm going to mention in a minute that is like that too.
Okay, so I love him. Two people that I have just started following in the last couple of months are Anthony Bradley. He is a professor at the King's College, and he just has a really interesting perspective as an African-American man and a Christian on the state of our country right now. And I really find him to be very interesting and very thoughtful and very humble. And because he's looking at life through a Christian lens, I appreciate his perspective. And then Eric Schumacher, I'm guessing I'm pronouncing it correctly. He's a pastor in Iowa. I just really like him. He's my most recent follow that I've liked. And again, I find him to be reasonable and thoughtful and faith-filled and the kind of person that I feel a kinship to. Mm-hmm. So so anyway, those are my favorites on Twitter. You guys, I like Twitter. If you're on Twitter, come find me.
Okay. Okay. Well, podcasts. What are you listening to that you weren't listening to before?
The truth is it's going to be surprising. I don't listen to a lot of podcasts because I need quiet in my life. Mm-hmm. And so I just can't multitask that well. Mm-hmm. But I do love Surviving Sarah. And I was on her podcast a year and a half ago, maybe a little over a year ago for talking about Christmas. And ever since, I have found her to be a very lovely, smart, funny, fun, kindred spirit. So
Yep.
Surviving Sarah Bragg is the host.
We love Sarah so much. And we're actually we're co-hosting a podcast in a few months with her. So that's going to be super fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm the opposite because I'm the extrovert of our duo. So I'm a podcast queen. I love podcasts. I listen to them all the time. And there's a few that I will mention that I really am loving. And one is the Briefing podcast that a friend of mine introduced me to. And it is a daily news podcast with a Christian perspective, but with a really smart man who understands government and politics and current news and the world, and it has a Christian slant. So what it does is it catches me up because I don't watch the news actually. Like I'm not someone who has the news on while I'm cooking dinner or anything. So this is my way of staying on top of what's going on in the world. But also I feel like he gives a great Christian slant without it being, you know what I'm saying, without it being out there or super far right. Maybe I shouldn't even say that because some of our listeners.
Let's think of a good way to say it without being biased, maybe.
Okay. Without being ultra biased one way or another. So I like that. The Next Right Thing by Emily P. Freeman is fab. She's another word crafter and she's just a special person. So her podcast is excellent and pretty short. So easy to listen to in a small chunk of time. And then the Radiant podcast by Kelsey Chapman. It's very helpful. Again, for someone who is pursuing work in any way, she's very encouraging and gives you lots of tools for that. So for people who are entrepreneurs or who are doing what we're doing, or you have a business of any kind, it's helpful.
Well, good. Those are good ones. I'm going to start listening.
Where did I want to go back to?
We skipped over clothes and then we're almost done.
Oh, yeah. Clothes. Okay. That's what I couldn't remember. Okay. Say that again. What?
So, well, those are good. Maybe I want to start listening to Emily's because I hear people talk about it all the time and it is short. That to me feels manageable. Okay. Clothes. We can't talk about things we love without talking about clothes. What are you loving in the clothing department?
I got several this year. I'm really liking. Well, you know that we live in Winterland here. So I found a new brand of snow boots that I love so much. I love these boots. They are Santana, Canada snow boots. And this is a company I've actually never heard of before now. Somehow, are you hearing the dogs howling?
No.
Next door?
Mm-mm.
Okay, why don't you go first because it's driving me bananas. They're literally howling. This is townhouse living. Okay, so Alex, what are you loving in the fashion shoes department?
Well, I have just one little item in this category, and it's a bra, which is funny. But it is a t-shirt bra that they sell at Target, and the brand is Warner's. I think that's how you pronounce it. And it's just very simple, but it has nice padding. And especially for maybe women who would like some extra padding, it just fits very, very nicely. So I have bought this bra for myself and for other people. And it's affordable, it's at Target. So it's not going to be the bra of your life, but it is a nice one. And it's soft and it's nice. I'm wearing it right now.
Love it.
Okay. What about you?
Okay. So I, up here in Winterland, love good snow boots and cute snow boots because I want them to be functional and I also want them to be cute. And I found a new brand that I absolutely love, and it's called Santana Canada. And I actually found mine at NordstromRack.com. So you can get them in the States and you can find them for sale prices. They're a little spendy if you buy them full price from their website, but you can find them other places. But they are adorable. And so I've got 2 pair. I use one for heavier stuff like snowshoeing and snow hiking and things like that. And then I have one that I just wear around town and they look so cute. So love it.
Fun.
And then I really am loving this black It's not real leather. It's leather-ish, faux leather. Miniskirt, I got it express.
Wow, with the glitter and the miniskirt, the faux leather miniskirt. Yes, Valentine's Day.
Well, Valentine's Day, and get this. And then I wear it with the is it Camuto?
Uh-huh, so that's right. Yeah, Vince
Camuto.
Camuto.
And then I wear the Vince Camuto, I don't know how to say this word, Coachella, whatever that word is, Coachella over the knee boots. Because I was informed by some college women that the over the knee boots are now in and the riding boots are out. Did you know that?
Well, I don't know. I never know those things, but I would trust a college girl over me. So I would say for sure, totally, whatever they say.
Well, I mean, I still wear the riding boots too, because I actually really like them and they're very comfortable. However, I did buy a pair of these Vince Camuto over the knee boots and I wear them with my Express mini skirt. It's very, very fancy.
I want to see that. Okay. So in the show notes, we have to put a picture of you wearing the over the knee boots and the mini skirt with the glitter.
Well, I'll have to figure out how to get one of those. Okay. And then the last thing, I've mentioned Gray Monroe before. It's a clothing company online and she's just a one-woman show. I mean, I'm sure she has people that help her, but she is a great little comfortable clothing designer. And she has this buffalo plaid wrap that I've been wearing all winter. I absolutely love it.
Mm-hmm. And you can follow them on Instagram, right? And it like goes into your feed when they have new stuff that they're selling. It's like an online boutique.
Yeah, it's just adorable and so comfy.
Buffalo plaid wrap. Okay.
Okay, so what about just kind of a final thing you're loving this year that didn't fall under a category?
Okay, I have two things. The first I found on Twitter, so it feels appropriate. I follow Caitlin Curtis on Twitter, and she is helping educate me about all things Native American. I feel pretty dumb in this area. And on election day, she posted a map, and we'll put it in the show notes, that is called nativeland.ca. So I think it's out of Canada. And and the question she posed was, do you know what Native peoples lived where you are voting? And I didn't know. And I thought, and so I sent it out to, my followers, like, this is a great activity to do with your kids, that we should all know who the Native people were that lived here, and probably still many do in lots of places, on the land where you're living. Like that's the basic piece of information we should all have. So we'll link to that. I just found that to be very informative. But you know what I love? My last thing that I'm going to say that I love is Southwest Airlines.
Well, you were just on that.
I was on it yesterday, but I try to fly Southwest whenever I can because bags fly free, right? You get 2 bags with your ticket price. But their customer service is so great and it's so easy to change. My neighbors last night when I got home, I found out they had to change their vacation for the end of the month. And they said, but you know what? We're on Southwest, so it's no problem. And they changed their tickets. And I posted a picture on Instagram that linked to my Twitter account about flying Southwest with all my books. And they messaged me on Twitter and gave me a code for free Wi-Fi for my next flight.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. Just for being nice. I like people who are nice just for being nice. So
it's awesome.
That's my fave. That's my last hurrah. What's your last hurrah?
My last hurrah, you've heard me talk about it because I'm really kind of obsessed with it right now, is Orange Theory. So it's...
Tell people what it is.
Yeah. For those of you who haven't done it or haven't seen it, it's a gym, small gym. They only take so many people per class with all orange lights. And you go in, you wear a heart rate monitor. You can see your name on a TV. And your goal is to stay as long as you can in the orange zone. And so the heart monitor monitors your heart rate, and that's the highest fat burning zone. And if you get at least 12, they call them splat points, in the orange zone, you have a 36-hour burn afterwards. So the first part of the class is cardio. So you can do treadmill, bike, elliptical, or, and not or, and the next half of the class is circuit. So you do weights and you do rowing. And it is the most whole body, amazing workout. And I haven't pushed myself like that in a long time, like decades. So it's just, I exercise all the time. I've always been a very, very faithful exerciser, but this has really pushed me into something different, which I needed. I needed to mix up my routine, and it pushes me to know where I am in my heart rate and how to make the most of my workout instead of just working out, but actually my body keeps adapting. And so I'm not really getting the full benefit of the workout, because that's, your body's super smart and it adapts to whatever you're doing. So if you just are running all the time, your body actually is not really burning that many calories anymore because it's learned how to adapt to that motion. So it's just, it's never the same. Every time you go in is a different workout, and it's an hour start to finish and you're done. So I'm doing it at 6 a.m. I don't have time to think about it. I just get up, I go, and before I know it, it's over. Which is awesome.
You want that in a workout.
And then they send you all of your points, how many calories you burned, and they send, everything's digital. So, and the bonus is that my husband and I are doing it together at least a couple days a week. So that's been a really fun thing for us because we can each go at our own pace. Mm-hmm. I'm not holding, he's actually, really athletic and has the heart of like a racehorse. So, it's frustrating when we're working really hard and he's not even breathing, or I'm working really hard and he's not. So this is a way we can work out together, but each of us challenge ourselves at our own pace.
Yeah, that's good. Mm-hmm. That's good. I like that.
And
they're everywhere. Too. I mean, they're everywhere here.
And you can use, like, since I'm a member, when I'm traveling, I can just look one up and go there. So that's nice.
Yeah.
I haven't done it yet, but that's nice.
Well, when you come visit, you can, because there's one just real close. Okay. Well, happy Valentine's Day, sisters. We hope that you have lots of things that you love in your life.
And can I just say,
yes,
the final thing I love is the Open Door Sisterhood.
Oh, well, yeah.
And that's like, I don't just say that. Like, I love the Open Door Sisterhood. I love this community we built. It is absolutely special.
Mm-hmm. So we want to hear what you love. So head over to the show notes. Tell us what you love, what you're loving this year, or on Instagram. You can put it in the comments. Mm-hmm. But we hope that you feel loved this Valentine's week. That someone, a real person, pays attention to you and says, I love you, and know that God loves you, whether those people show any appreciation or not, right? We know how that is.
Well, happy Valentine's, everyone.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.